Hey everyone, it's Bri. I'm back with another scrapbook process video for the SpiegelMom Scraps design team. And I'm going to be working with one of the new sequin mixes. It is called Moon Rising and it is super pretty. There's some moons, there's a couple silver little starbursts, there's some gray and some white big cupped sequins as well as some wood grain sequins. So I'm starting off with this floral paper by Pink Fresh Studio. It's from the Joyful Day collection. And as you can see, I'm working with frames, and you know how I love to make a shaker frame. I've done that several times in the past, and as soon as I saw these somewhat Polaroid looking frames from the All Heart collection by Crate Paper, I thought, oh my gosh, I have to turn these into shakers immediately. So I'm kind of cheating here. The way these frames came packaged, I should say, they are all separate on their own little with their own little piece of acetate on it, or like clear backing to it. So if you peel this clear film off, it releases, or it's kind of like the release paper, and all the stickiness of this not puppy, puffy Polaroid frame is exposed. So I thought, okay, why don't I leave this film on there and just add my adhesive to the back of it and not have to mess with it? And honestly, it worked. It worked perfectly. So what I'm using now is some of my narrow or thin foam strips that I always use on all of my shakers, as well as anything that I use with a cut file that has, that are small or skinny. They're by Doris, and I picked them up at Simon Says Stamp. And I brought the packaging out because usually when I do use these foam strips, I don't have the packaging because I just throw it away. But I just picked up some more to replenish my stock, and I wanted y'all to see the packaging in case you were interested. So I have the foam placed on these little Polaroid frames, and I prepped the little film with my powder tool to kind of help with the static, and I've added my sequins in, and I'm going to add some liquid glue to make sure that none of my sequins falls out, in case the foam tape doesn't stick for a long time. I add some extra glue. So this is super sped up, so I'm going fairly quickly, but I've shown you both of my shakers there. I've done this several times before, so it's not too difficult, or it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, so if you need to go back, I only did one on camera because I didn't feel like you guys needed to watch me do a second one. So I went ahead and started on my background. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but in the beginning of my video, I went ahead and prepped this super busy paper with some white gesso, and I just spread it on with a dry paintbrush. And now I'm going to be adding some color. I've used some shimmers in Glorious Day, as well as this color right here is called Pop Art Pink, and it's a Shimmers Vibes. I did want to tone down this busy paper, so that's why I added the gesso, but I also wanted some color behind these frames. So the photo that I'm using is of my oldest son, Noah. You can't really see his body because his electric guitar he wears it on his back, so you can't really see him, but we're on our way to his guitar lessons, and I just snapped this photo when he was walking in front of me. I was just walking behind him, and it was just crazy of how tall he's gotten and how grown up he is, and he loves to play guitar. It is probably one of, a highlight of his week. He goes twice a week for an hour each time, and he absolutely loves it, and I am so happy that he loves it. It is just a great outlet for him to get musical, if that makes any sense. So I am, of course, laying out these beautiful frames in a grid-like fashion. And so I have my two shakers on the, obviously you can see top right and bottom left, and I'm going to be using the darker frames, the dark pink ones, to embellish on. So I added this really cute peace sign from the All Heart collection chipboard sheet, as well as I'm adding some of these stickers from the 6x12 sticker sheet. One says Your Straight Magic, the other one says Forever and Ever, which I end up peeling that off to add some stamping here later, but you'll see that in just a few minutes. The other sticker says Be You, then the other one says With All Your Heart. It's just, it's just a fun page, just documenting him playing guitar. And so I thought it was fitting to have this record player and this record, because it is it is a musical layout, or musical themed. If I'm at a loss for words. It's been a while since I've done a voiceover, And honestly, it's taking me all day to mess with my iMovie. For some reason, my project was not airdropping to my Mac, and I was getting so frustrated. I guess one of my videos was not transferable. I don't know what it was. So, yeah. So it's just been a lot of finagling, and I've got it, but I'm a little flustered at this point. Not with, I mean, just with technology, basically. But anyways, on to, or back to my fantastic layout. I'm working on my title, and first I thought I was just going to put rock out, but then I do go back and I add additional alphas in black puffy alphas from Pink Fresh Studio, and I'll get to that again in just a minute. I've really wanted to use these tassels from the All Art collection. I just didn't really know what to add it or like what project to add it to, and I thought it would be a fun embellishment on these little shaker frames because the holographic portion of these little shakers, as well as the whole collection, really match, or they all match really well with the Moon Rising sequin mix. Like, it is gorgeous and it matches perfectly. Jody does such a phenomenal job coming up with so many different sequin mixes that match like any collection out there. But yeah, I absolutely love the sequin mix, and I love how they look in the shakers, and I love the color scheme. This is usually not a color scheme I would go with, you know, but it was fun. It was fun to step out of my box and try something different, and I love it. But you know me and a shaker frame. Like, anytime I see a frame, a chipboard frame, this puffy Polaroid frame, I'm like, shaker, shaker. I'm addicted to making shakers, and honestly, they're so much fun, and they're so simple, and I hope I inspire y'all to try it out. Yeah, so yeah. There, I'm adding, like I said, some additional words to my title, so now it's just time to rock out because he was walking to practice, and yeah, he loves it. So I pulled out my new stamps from Crafty Jen Scow. I absolutely love this stamp set, or these stamp sets. They came in the other day, and I was like, oh, that would be perfect to use on this layout. I did use one that says I freaking love you, because I do. He's amazing, and he's just a phenomenal kid. And yeah, so I prepped my stamp because it's brand new, so I added I roughed it up a little bit with an eraser, and I stamp it, and of course, as I'm stamping it and pressing it down, I kind of move a little bit. I could feel it slip. That's why it does look a little smudged, but I don't really care. I think it's cute. And I had lost my stamp chamois. I'm not sure where it went and where it's at, but that's okay. So I'm going to add a little date stamp from Felicity Jane here, and that about does it. I do add some stitching off camera, but you'll see it at the end. There's my final layout. Don't forget to use my code Brianna15 to save you 15% off in the shop. Thanks again for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!